Welcome to Entrepreneur S.O.S. with your hosts, Monique Mall and Sandy Collins. We help business owners navigate the often complex world of systems, organizations, and structure. Every week, we bring you expert advice or real-life stories from successful entrepreneurs who have overcome the challenges of building and scaling a business. Whether you're just starting out or looking to take your business to the next level, this podcast is for you. So join us each week and let's grow your business together. Don't forget and subscribe, leave a review. It helps us reach more entrepreneurs just like you. And today we're talking about unleashing the power of zero-cost marketing and how to create massive exposure for your business without breaking the bank.
I like that, without breaking the bank.
I think we all like that. If you don't like it, you need to rethink being a business owner. Because running lean is the way you want to be. Lean and mean.
Lean and mean. I like it.
So I think this is something that so many entrepreneurs, I think in the beginning, for me at least, was how do I get out there? And you get a little bit in your head. And once you've been in business for a while, you realize that there's just so many zero cost ways to get your brand exposure in this day and age. When I started a business in 1998,
it was a little different.
Let me all tell you, y'all have a big leg up these days. It would be so much easier to create brand awareness with that company than it was then. I know one of your favorite ways that you loved doing when you started your business was you liked to network, Sandy.
I did, and way back when, of course, this is pre-COVID and so much has changed since COVID, right? But pre-COVID, and it's coming back again quite strongly, is belly to belly networking. I know there's a gazillion actual networking events out there. I'm oftentimes not a huge fan because everybody just throws business cards at each other's. So you do have to go and suss them out because some are phenomenal that are not like that. It's really, for me, it was going to a ton and knowing, not going back to this one, love this one. So the belly to belly networking and I love social media, don't get me wrong, the introvert that I am, but it is nice to have those belly to belly connections and getting to know people face to face. You network at all, like networking?
I have one group that I love going to, like you. Here's the thing. You're going to tell if the vibe is, are people there to get business for themselves or are there to learn about other businesses to help them? And that is really what you're looking for in a networking group. I found one that I love in my area, and they are just a really great group of people. And everyone I've met in the group or through the group has just been an awesome supporter. I've sent people business. They've shouted me out and sent me business. I do think you have to definitely sift through the riffraff. There are some that you can pay for as well. I used to belong to one that I paid for, but I honestly feel like it was not a good fit for me. So again, just going through and sifting different groups to see which one I liked the best.
And that's nice to have one. You gain community, you build trust, right? It's reciprocal. It's not just buy my stuff. It's truly reciprocal. And I actually started a networking group way back when I moved to California, which was great. It was a women's group and it was awesome. We had speakers, we got to know each other, and it was literally just about getting together. And as we got to know each other, we started, referring, and I'd have guest speakers, and it was really, really fun, but it was truly reciprocal and not just,
My best piece of advice when it comes to networking, whether it is belly to belly or the next way we're going to talk about, is to go in with the thought process of how can you help this person versus how can I get business from this group? Because people can smell commission breath a million miles away.
Right.
So just be really aware and make sure and keep yourself in check and don't make it about you. You can create some really good friendships and relationships through these groups, not even just business, but personal. So I think networking is a really fun way to do it. And I agree. I think after COVID, people are looking to connect more because we were so isolated for so many years.
And just on a side note, so a couple of the networking, belly to belly in-person networking events that I used to go to, they actually initially put them online on Zoom. I am also on a Tuesday evening in a women's group. I have to say They do breakout rooms and you get together. That is another great way of a kind of belly to belly, but not in person belly to belly way to network.
Well, and you're seeing a lot more of that since
Mhm.
COVID. Keep your options open and think about how can I network with other business people and meet other people and learn about other industries. Sometimes you'll meet people who can just help you in your business and be
Exactly.
mentors. So go with a really open mind. Now, for me, I'm not like Sandy always like, you should go to a networking group. I'm like, a poke a fork in my eye. I actually prefer to network in social media. I love meeting people on social media. I am constantly expanding my network on social media. You can do it on any of these formats. This is the beautiful thing about social media is it lets you reach all corners of the world. As much as a lot of people say, oh, Facebook is a gone thing, I'll tell you what, it's one of the best places to really network and connect. It has more of, I think, a sense of community than say Instagram.
Absolutely.
TikTok, TikTok's getting there, but I feel like that's a really good way to expand your reach. And social media, LinkedIn's another great one, professional or near the professional services. People are looking to network on social media. You have to go in with that mindset. How can I, again, meet new people and find out about them? I don't go into a relationship networking to prospect. When I started, I feel like that was a big mistake I made. And now I go in thinking, do I like this person? So I check out their profile. Do I like them? Do we have anything in common? Do I like their views? Do I like their vibe? I don't just pick anybody and everybody. I really vet out people and say, oh, I like this person's vibe. I want to connect with them. I love how positive they are. I love connecting with positive, like-minded women. And so then I send a friend request and then we start a conversation. Some people are reciprocal and some people aren't. And just know that it's nothing to do with you. But I feel like social media gives us the oyster in our hands.
Absolutely. Like you said, I love that you can reach people all over the world. The thing about social media that gives it a bad rap, because there are those out there, unfortunately, that it's all about throwing out their product or their service, and it's taken away a little bit from it. And I'm not a huge Facebook fan, but I do 100% agree that if it's done right, it's one of the best ways to network and to meet people. Absolutely.
Yeah. So don't discount it. Even if you're like younger, don't be like, oh, it's all old ladies on there. Well, first of all, us old ladies, we've got a lot of experience and we have big old networks. So we've been around longer, so our networks are bigger. So don't discount it. And, LinkedIn is a great source. They've really upgraded the way that you can do things now. And it's a super way to connect with people in your industries and outside. That is a phenomenal tool if you're not using it. And, I'm learning more about TikTok. And I'm learning more about how Instagram also has community. It's a little trickier on those apps, but there is a sense of community, especially on TikToks amongst other TikTokers. I think that's another way to utilize those platforms to meet people.
And I love LinkedIn. LinkedIn was for the longest time my favorite platform to truly network. I was in there actually the other day, and you're right, they've changed a lot and they've added a lot of features. For the most part, it's very tasteful and people are just very professional on it.
Just be open and be authentic and create relationships. Speaking of relationships, so finding someone that you jive with and collaborate, guys. That
Absolutely.
is the best way to get exposure. We do this podcast together, but you can also do summits, workshops. You can do a collaborative live. For a lot of you that don't know, if you're on Instagram, if you tag that person, then I think it shows up in their story feeds as well as I think in Facebook, if you tag them, it will show up on their profile as well.
If you have it open setting that when you tag somebody that you allow it, or you can go back later and just give it permission.
Or they can share it with their network. Say you do an interview with someone, they're going to share it with their network because they want that visibility for their network. Now you're cross networking with each other's networks, and that really gives you a lot more exposure.
And you're linking arms with somebody, you're helping somebody, you're providing service for somebody, you're collaborating, you're helping them, they're helping you. So really, it's a total win-win. It's one of my favorite ways to really get exposure, honestly.
It is. And you can do things like contests, which are really fun. I know people that across teams in network marketing, even if they're not on the same team, they will join together and do a contest collaboration to make it less expensive for each owner. And then again, you can do this with people. You can find complementary, what are they called? Like power partners. They do this in regular networking groups. Find a power partner, find someone who complements your business and you complement their business, and then you have a really strong bond and you can work together and create a lot of synergy, really help each other expose each other's networks and expand that.
Yep. Absolutely. It's definitely a great way to get visibility and to create trust and create influence. Because in the end, that's what we want to do, right? We want to create positive influence by impacting, by helping others.
Exactly. No like trust.
The last one is being an expert in your field, which kind of goes a little bit hand in hand with collaboration, but a little bit not. Being an expert, getting out there. I have done quite a few speaking engagements. So being an expert on a certain subject and going out and speaking about it at events, at networking meetings, on a podcast, you could go out there and just speak on the topic that is near and dear to you and that you're an expert on.
I think this really does two things. One, it's going to up your game on your presentation skills every time you are out there presenting. And by the way, if you're worried about presenting, I know that Sandy, when she started, she did Toastmasters.
I did.
Which is a free network that you can go and learn how to be a better speaker. So if you're like, I just am not at the game level I need to be for my presenting skills, go find a local Toastmasters and join that club. It's going to really help you take and up level your speaking skills.
It's a great way to network.
Again, another way to network. Now you're taking something where you're learning and you're networking, right? So you're learning to become an expert and you're networking and meeting new people. And it really does, when you have great presentation skills, it does really bring you a higher up level of authority, and people, I think, respect you more. They see that you're serious about what you're doing. You can go to your local networking groups and ask them if they need a speaker, because a lot of times they're looking for guest speakers.
Absolutely. They sure are. Honestly, it wasn't easy for me. I actually am about to speak this week in front of a group of people. And as much as I've done it, it's scary, but it's good because it's getting you out of your comfort zone.
Exactly. And another way that you can become an expert is podcasts, like you said, which is a great way. That's like a hot thing right now. There's people that have businesses helping you get on podcasts.
Yep.
There's also the online summit. This kind of hits all of it. So you have your networking, you have your collaboration, and then you're an expert in your field. So you get together a group of people that you're all kind of in the similar sense, but you're not. Like you may be focused on leads and maybe this other person focuses on podcasts. And so you can all talk together and do like a day summit online or in person, like an event. And then you are the speaker of that event. So now you're networking, you're getting exposure, and you're collaborating. It kind of is like the trifecta.
The creme de la creme. I love that.
It is. And there's this other website, and I wish I can remember it. It's a way to get exposure on media. So they're looking for experts to answer questions, and you then answer the question. And then you can be featured in Forbes. I mean, all these different massive publications, they're looking for free experts. They'll quote you and then they'll tag you. And now you're getting exposure from a big platform just by giving information. And I cannot remember the name of it. I'm so sorry. It's slipping my brain, but we will link it in the show notes.
And I'm sure you've all seen experts that say seen on, Forbes, seen in Elle, seen, and that's exactly what it is. I'm glad you brought that up because I wasn't thinking about that, but it is a great way to create trust. If we know a little bit, what is it, 10% more than the next person? Get it out there and don't be shy. And it's a good way to step out of your comfort zone and create value.
That's a great point, Sandy. You don't have to be the best. You just have to be a little bit better. You have to know a little bit more, and you just have to have a passion for what you're talking about. So
exactly.
Do you have any other ways that you've utilized to create free exposure?
No, I think we covered it all. And like I said, I need to get back into that habit with COVID and the introvert that I am. I've just been stuck behind my little. So I do go on on Tuesday evenings at 5 p.m. on my little online networking, but I'm going to go out again. And I'm glad you brought up Toastmasters because I loved Toastmasters. It really, it got me out of my comfort zone. I had to speak in front of people, but it taught me so much. So I'm glad you brought that up. Now that I've moved, I may actually even look at what's available out here.
That's so
I totally
fun.
forgot about that. Yeah.
That's so fun. Well, we hope that this podcast served you well, and we hope that you take some of this and put it into action because remember, you can learn, but if you don't implement, nothing will happen in your business. Make sure you subscribe and drop us a comment. What was the best value you got from this podcast? And refer us to a friend so we can help more entrepreneurs just like you.
Thank you.